Welcome to Wellness Talks with LoLo, where we dive into wellness topics specifically around the subject of healing from toxic relationships. Today, I cannot wait to dive into the topic of supporting your fellow Phoenix, your sister Phoenix. That is, other women, other survivors after a toxic relationship who are restarting their lives and need your support, sticking together as women and what that does for all of us. So let's dive in. As I was laying in bed this morning and I was just kind of scrolling through Instagram, you know how the algorithms work, so that like the more you look at something, the more the same kind of thing comes through. And I started realizing how much power female empowerment stuff was coming through, and just women uplifting other women. And I got to thinking, way back in the day, I had a couple of female friends, but most of my friends were males, like in high school and college and stuff. I had a few female friends. And the reason that I kept that circle small was because, generally speaking, girls couldn't be trusted at that age. There was a lot of drama, a lot of backstabbing and betrayal and all. And I had experienced that. So I said, you know what, I'll stick with my guy friends and let that be it. And my few, select friends that had proven themselves, basically, that they weren't going to stab me in the back. Or just be nasty. Going into the first year of being married to my ex, I remember specifically being invited to a girls' night, and I remember telling them, "Oh, I don't hang out with girls. I'm good with my, at the time we were engaged, so I'm good with my fiance." And it wasn't long into the abuse that I realized, wow, I really could use some girlfriends right now. And I began reflecting on my beliefs about friendships and my beliefs about females, girls, women. And I just started kind of forming some beliefs and some reflections on that at the time. That was 12, 13, I don't even know, long time ago. Many, many years ago, back in 2007, so however many years that is. When I got out of my abusive marriage, I immediately knew I wanted to form an army of women. And it's been a slow process. I've needed personal repair, personal healing, that I've needed time to myself in certain instances, but I have undoubtedly turned my focus and my attention towards lifting up other women. And especially in the last year, it has become very, very strong, a very strong purpose and mission. And as I sit here before you today, it is not just a purpose and a mission, but it's legitimately a passion of mine to connect with other women, lift them up, show them love and loyalty and strength, and build that army of, it's almost too cliche to say we got to stick together, but there's no other way to say it, that we really do have to stick together. And I was watching a video of a girl singing about being, I'm your girl. I got your back. I'll take care of you. If you're having a bad day and you need to cry, or talk to me, call me. cry to me, talk to me. If some creep is talking to you at the bar and I don't even know you, I'm gonna come rescue you. Just that's what the song was about. And I got choked up. I literally started to cry because I feel that so much in my soul, and I'm even getting choked up now trying to say this. How much I want to be there for you and your friends and connect with other women locally, show other women the support that I would like to have, and show other women the love and just encouragement that we can do this. It's too often there's a group, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, there's a subsect of women that are backstabbing, conniving little bitches. That is a thing. But men have the same subsect. There are narcissistic men and women. There are bitches, both men and women. There's always going to be nasty people. But the large majority of people are not that way. And it's not fair to those who need each other for you to judge everyone and put everyone in the same bucket. We don't all belong in the same bucket. And being that I believe, I didn't always believe this, but I do now, that we are all connected. That this is a discovery that I've recently made, that it's not new, but it's new to me, and I believe it, and I accept that we are all connected, and our energy and our beliefs, our vibrations that we put out and that we share with each other affect everyone. They affect each other, and it's so empowering when you are able to provide the love and support to someone else who needs it just because you feel it. Literally just connecting with someone on a spiritual level and feeling the love and the support and the encouragement that you send them. The way that they receive that, and you watch things in their life just start to happen. I believe that is a lot of what prayer is. When we pray on behalf of other people, and we we're having God intervene for us, that's what it means, is we are sending them our love, our support, our energy, our positive high vibrations and generosity and just positivity. And that is dispersed through the Holy Spirit. That's dispersed through God, because we are all connected. It's just like the internet. It's all connected. And it's just an exciting revelation that I've come to. And I think that's actually kind of beside the point. That's not how I started this this talk, but it's a thing. And all coming back to lifting up other women and forming that army, being there for each other. I recently learned about the 4B movement. I didn't know about that somehow until yesterday, which I think is pretty ingenious. And I've heard some folks, some men specifically, complain about it. And I kind of giggled to myself because this one man's complaint, and I'll share with you in a second, but what that was, but the guy's complaint, I giggled because I'm like, literally, you are entirely missing the point, because your complaint is the point. So what the 4B movement is, out in South Korea, women were getting tired of the way that men were treating them. It's an extremely misogynistic area. And the way that women were being treated and their lives were being handled and controlled and manipulated, and they were being used, and women basically said, fuck you, I've had enough. And not the 4B. What it stands for is there, I don't know what the words are, but there's 4 Korean words that begin with B that mean no dating. They're not dating men. They're not having sex, not having children, and I believe not working. I need to double check that. I can't remember what the fourth one is. I think it's not working for other men. Probably butchering that, but it's basically they're on strike for men. And the idea is that eventually, if they don't start treating them with respect, the entire population is going to be wiped out. There is an entire, there are no first graders now. This has been going on for about 5 years, and there's no first graders. So they're going to start feeling the pain. And the way the women see it is, hey, if we get wiped out, we get wiped out. It's the end of the era. The end of South Korea is the way that they see it. Well, that's kind of coming over here to America, and men are getting all butthurt over it because they're like, oh, well, the younger generation pays for the older generation. So if there's no if there's no younger generation, then you're not going to be taken care of, and there's not going to be any of this, and there's not going to be any of that, and there won't be anyone to work, and there won't be anyone to there won't be a next generation, and and it's like, dude, that's the point. That literally is the point. You will not be supported. Get it through your thick skull. You will not be supported. We're taking the control back into our hands. Now, I'm not personally one of those, but I'm speaking on behalf of the women that are a part of this. Like, dude, yeah. So he's already feeling the pain, and it hadn't even affected him yet, because he can see how detrimental it could be for women to go on strike and eliminate the problem, which is misogynistic men. That's kind of redundant, but you know what I mean. So all that to say that I support the 4B movement, and I think it's going to sting a little bit, even for all of us, but you know what? It's getting the point across that keep our legs closed and you lose the power. So then who's really got the power? And with that, we have to stick together for it to work. We have to be locked in arms, and we have to be a strong army and a strong force for that type of movement to happen. I personally don't want, I don't, should I say that I don't want my kids to have kids? It's not that I don't want my kids to have kids. It's that I support them fully 100% if they decide that they do not want children. Now, they're young. They don't understand. At this point, they don't want kids. But I know a lot of little girls, under 15 that do want children. 15, 16, 17 that do want children. They already know. And that can change if they do or don't. But my point is, my daughter wants to be single and travel the world, not have kids. She's told me this. She wants to be her own woman, probably because she saw what happened to me, and she has seen how things have gone down since being out of that marriage. She's seen the light of how men can be. Now, she has an amazing stepfather, and she'll tell you that. But I think she has seen the large majority of men that are absolute creeps and jerks, and so she just doesn't even want to mess with it. Even kids in her school. She's like, okay, I see adults acting like jerks, and I also see kids in my class acting like jerks. Maybe I should just stay single. And I'm all for it. Go for it, sister. That's my first sip of coffee. I've been sitting here with my coffee this whole time. I just took my first sip. Wow, must have had a lot to say. Women have to have each other's backs. I started a women's business network in my hometown because I recognized that there was one in the town over from us, and I visited and got some really great connections, made some quick friends, and I started exploring my hometown and realized that I don't think we have one. I asked a couple people and nobody knew of one. Did a search on Facebook and on the chamber and didn't see one. So I was like, well, hell, I'll just start one myself. So I did. Got a few people in there. And I feel my heart just literally swell when I think about supporting the other women in my hometown. Even if we're doing similar things, which I don't think we are at this point. There's a little bit of overlap with a couple of folks, but there are so many people to help. One person cannot help everyone. And we have niches for a reason. So there is zero reason to be competitive to the cutthroat level, which leads me back to full circle. We have to support each other. Give each other referrals. Talk each other up. Do things with each other. Promote each other. I have, for the first 5 years of being in business, I was so afraid of stepping on other people's toes, even though I wouldn't have been, but I was still afraid of it. I was afraid of being judged for what I do from different communities. I was afraid of commitment, that if I really was successful, that meant that I had to commit to being successful and actually show up. And I was afraid to. I wasn't healed. And I was afraid of judgment from other women. I know I already said that I was afraid of being judged, but coming back to that, I was afraid of being judged by other women. Ridiculed, heckled. And I think it's because I felt that way about myself. A lot of times our judgments and our beliefs that they're actually projections of what we feel inside. So when you can eliminate those, two things. One, if you are feeling judgment from others and you are believing that others are going to judge you, might judge you, or believe something poorly about you, take a step back and think about the fact that you have unless they have voiced it, you have no idea what most people are thinking, how they feel about things. Again, like I said, unless they've, actually voiced it. Just your standard population, standard interactions with folks. You don't know what they're thinking, what they're believing, how they feel about things. And so if you are quick to judge them, that they will judge you, what is that saying about you? Where is your judgment? If you really take a step back and you look at yourself, you're not only judging them to be quick to judge you, but you are also judging yourself, which is really what you're afraid of. When you remove that obstacle and you step back and you release that, you let it go and you think for a moment, okay, if that's not true, if there's a possibility that I am out of line, and I pretend for just a moment that I'm not going to be judged, if I pretend for just a moment that I might actually be accepted, and that I might actually do some good in my community, and I might actually have something good to bring, to offer, to bring to the table, and I might actually make really good connections with other women. What does that feel like? What does it look like? And might that actually be true? And when you for just a hole in the wall, just a pinpoint of light of that thought, you can see, it's like this feeling, this weight is lifted off of you, and you can see how empowering and liberating it is to get out of the way and just let it happen. There's a saying, let them judge you. Let them say bad things. Let them be disloyal. Let them betray you, which I guess is the same thing. Let them do the things that you're afraid that they're going to do. Let them. Because at the end of the day, that's probably not going to happen. So if you just let them, you'll see that they won't. But also, just letting them shows you that they have no power over you. They cannot hurt you. Can they spread rumors? Sure. But the truth always speaks for itself. You do not have to defend the truth. The truth defends itself. So let them spread rumors. Let them judge you. Let them badmouth you. Because your character, your integrity, who you are, how you treat other people, how you support other people, how you help other people and show up, present yourself, all those things, that's going to be so much louder than their big mouth. So let them. It's not going to hurt you. If I go out to my backyard and I grab a rose, there are thorns all over those stems. But those thorns do not make that rose less beautiful. It just means that the path to it has some painful spots, but you can avoid them. There's so much more to it than the thorns. And that's actually, that analogy is great for a lot of things. That metaphor, you represent a lot of different things, such as the path to get to where you're going. It represents your own feelings about things. It represents what I was just saying, that there's gonna be some nastiness in this world, but it doesn't mean that the flower is scorned or that it is gonna fail. It's just part of the story. There's some bitches out there, guys and girls. But we have to stick up for each other. When you have a bouquet of roses, you can't see the thorns. You see the flowers. Right? You see the beauty. And those thorns, they get covered up. They completely disappear. You can't see them. So stand up for each other, support other women. Be a voice for the one who doesn't have one, and show her that you'll be her voice until she finds her own. You don't have to be loud. Just stick up for her. Promote her. Call her beautiful, because you know that she is. Let her see the love from another woman, from another female, There is something powerful about lifting other women up, empowering other women, and being an army together. And it's something that for a large majority of my younger life, I didn't think I needed or wanted. And as I got older, oh my God, the value. I don't regret pushing it away before, because it shows me, I think because it means that much more to me now. But I also know that there were women that, even though I pushed away, I pushed that sisterhood away, there were women that still stood beside me and were still there for me because they saw what was happening. This was as I got older. And at least one of them is my best friend to this day. She never left my side. Your true friends are the ones that are there through all of it. I paused because I was thinking, wow, I said one, but there's so many. There's more than just one. Your true friends are the ones that no matter what, they're always there. I love the saying that really good friends are like the stars. You may not always see them, but you know that they're always there. I love that saying. I used to have that on a mug somewhere. I don't know where that mug is. I need to go pull it out. Be there for the other girl. She needs you. And that's my wellness talk with Lolo for the day. Have a good weekend, folks. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share with a fellow sister. Share with another Phoenix who could really use the support today, who could really use the backup to know that she's not alone. You've got her back, and by sending this to her, you are telling her that you love her, you got her back, and you support her. Let's stick together and let's do this together. See you on the flip side.